Okay, so the very first page we're at is the calendar page. And this is because when a call comes in, what you guys are going to want to do is obviously get them on the schedule, right? And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to head over to operations and then down to calendar. And on this account, right, it's a Wasatch Pro Plumbing, our demo account here. And what we're looking at is a single truck with 3 team members in here, and we can see that they got 3 jobs and 0 estimates on the schedule. And we're gonna start at 9 a.m. and they're going all the way until 6 p.m. So it's a pretty packed day, right? I got a time just in here. But let's say a call's coming in, right? I pick it up, I'm talking to the customer, and I find out that there's something going wrong with their pipes, right? It might be that water's backed up. It might be that they have a leaky pipe. It might be that there's some weird noises going on and they don't know what's there, right? So I'm gonna talk to the customer. I'm gonna gather that information and kind of understand, okay, like, let's get you out there for a diagnostic call. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and create an appointment. And there's 2 ways I can do this. One is manual book, and that's going to take me directly to where I can just put in all the information. And but most of the time, like, I got a crew here, I don't know where they are. So what I want to do instead is do a quick book appointment. Now I'm going to search for the customer. Now if they're in our system, all right, I'm just going to put an A in here, and then there we go. Okay, so we've got a lot of customers in here already. So if it's like Nora Bell and they're in our system, then I would go ahead and select them. But if they're brand new, then I'm gonna be like, what was your first name again? And they might say something like, oh, it's Jessica. And then we'll just go with Johnson here. Put their phone number in here. Put their email. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to click on next, and then the next question I would ask them on the phone is, well, what's your address? And they might give me their address here, and I would fill that all in, and then I would say, okay, well, you know what, this sounds like we gotta get somebody out there right away. Let me see if we can get you on the schedule either on Monday or on Tuesday. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually setting the date fields in when we want to find the best route optimized time slot. All right, so I'm only going to give 2 days because it's an emergency in this example and I don't want to lose the customer. So I go into next, and then I can decide, hey, do I want to search by a service or do I want to search by a calendar? Now the difference is that you might have multiple services that a single person can do, or you might have a single service that multiple people can do, right? Like a diagnostic call, I have a couple technicians that are going to be able to go out, and I want to make sure I have the best calendar available so I can get on their schedule the fastest possible so that they don't call somebody else. Or it might be, you know what, it has to be this specific truck or this specific person, and that's when I would go down to the calendar, right? So I'm going to go ahead and pick on by calendar because we only have one. And I want to show you guys what that looks like. So here, I would be able to select the calendar, what time frame that I typically want. So diagnostic call, I'm going to say, I'm going to give myself 120 minutes there, 2 hours. I'm going to go on next. And what this is going to do is it's going to pull up a map so you can see how close together these routes are. And I can zoom in here, and we know that, okay, that's where the office is located, and we got stop 1, stop 2. Now stop 3 is going to come way out here down to Lehigh. And I can see the starting location, right there in purple. I can see where the new appointment's going to be if I zoom out a little bit. And then I can see the appointment before. And then I can see there's no appointments after, and then the other appointments are gray on the list. And so if we select this calendar, it's going to tell us stops for the selected day. So I can kind of see, okay, this is what that technician's schedule going to be. Or I can say, you know what, we need to change that up. And now you can see, if I can get there at 7 in the morning, then does that give me enough time to go all the way back here instead of 3 p.m.? And I can kind of leave that up to the customer and say, you know what, we can get to you on Tuesday or Monday at 7 a.m. It's going to be early, but then we can fit it on the schedule. Or, hey, I can go Tuesday at 3 p.m. What works best for you? And that gives you full visibility into what your team is doing so that you can make the best decision for them on the calendar. And what's cool is this right here will auto rank the appointments based off of what it thinks the best time is for you when it pulls up the drive time and everything like that. And so you can see that this is a 44-minute drive time and this is a 48-minute drive time, simply because that third stop is a little bit further down. Now, if you decide, or the customer's like, hey, that doesn't really work for me, we can adjust dates right here. Or go back to that manual book and decide when you want to put them on the schedule and move things around if you need to. So let's go ahead and book that appointment. We're going to do it Monday bright and early at 7 a.m. Now you can see I've got that draft appointment that just appeared behind here. Now I can put it in here and I can just do this as like a diagnostic call. I've got Jessica Johnson in here. I've got the address. I can put a description, any notes that I need to pass on to the technician. That's where I'm going to put that all in so that everything is ready to go for that technician when they show up. Now, if you're a type of company that likes to do estimates, where hey, I got to go out there and this is probably going to be an estimate. Then what you can do is come down here and say, hey, create an estimate automatically and link this appointment to that estimate. And maybe you don't do estimates and you just say, hey, we go straight to a job, and you can auto create that job as well if you pre-sell the customer or however your business kind of operates with it. So there's some cool flexibility there. Now, if you need to add any equipment, let's say that it's not a plumbing company, but it might be an arborist and you have a crane, and you're not dragging that crane all over the town because that's going to eat up on gas, right? It's going to cost a lot of money. Well, you can add that equipment in there and it's going to auto check and say, hey, that equipment's already checked out on another calendar or something like that. And that's going to help you make sure you don't double book on things that just can't be double booked because you don't have that many resources. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure this set to create a new estimate and then click save. Now, what this just did is we now have our diagnostic appointment right there on Monday, July 13th. So now when I go into the map section, you can see here that I'm going way out here to, I think this is Lehigh, right? So I've got one right bright and early in the morning going all the way down here, and then from 2, 3, 4, and I can see that calendar kind of operate. So that is how we get somebody on the schedule quick and fast. We found that that was the best appointment time because that 2-hour window would not fit in between here. And that's how we get someone on the schedule. And the next video, we're going to be talking about an estimate.